Hi, everyone. It's the Ides of March, but you don't have to beware of anything. And I don't think anyone's going to get murdered like poor old Caesar. It's also National Nap Day, and I hope you get to take advantage of that, except maybe not during this video. I was busy last week grading your essays and posted the assignment for this unit, and I wanted to review that a little bit for you. It's a fast, quick unit, so I want to take this time to go over a few things with you. But before we do that, I want to say a word about my grading style. Since we've been through a grading cycle now on your essays, I make a lot of comments, and as I mentioned to some of you, I do that because that's my best tool to talk to you, to teach you one-on-one, to help you improve your writing, okay? And so everyone gets a lot of comments. The weakest essay to the very, very strongest essay, every essay has a lot of my comments. And I give every essay the same time, the same attention to help improve the writing. So I just want you to know that. Everyone gets a lot of comments, so you're not alone. So let's take a look at this next unit, which is very quick. You've already done a lot of the work because you're going to take the topic for your synthesis essay and the argument you made, and instead of a paper, a beautifully written essay, you're going to make a visual argument out of it that viewers can understand very quickly. So you get to practice your synthesis skills some more, because you're going to take the main points of your argument and condense them down to as little text as possible, really. And then find visuals that go with those, or that express the same main point. The human eye takes in information faster than any of the other senses, and it tends to retain it. So think of like a scary movie you've seen, and there's just a scene, gosh, for days later, you just can't get it out of your head. Well, okay, that's why, because your eyes have seen that and it's captured that. And an infographic should convey the message of your topic and your argument in, as experts say, in as little as 8 to 15 seconds. So it's got to be very, very quick, okay? Then we're going to look at ways to do that, to make that effective. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we'll take a look at the assignment. Here's our course scheduled. Here's our assignment. Before we hop up into the assignment, I want to note something for you on the course schedule. I've made a little change to the dates. Instead of your rough drafts being due on Wednesday, they're now due on Thursday. And I will post a forum for you to post those, as well as small groups for peer review. And all that means is you're going to have a certain partners, not just one, but there'll be 2 or 3 of you, however it breaks up, in a small group, and you'll be responsible for reviewing those infographics and giving suggestions, if you have any, for how to make them better, okay? But those rough drafts should be on the discussion board by Thursday. The original date was Wednesday. Then peer review, try to get those looked at and make comments if you want to. In this time, you don't have to make comments on the infographic. Feel free to put them on a separate sheet if you want to, attach it to your reply on the discussion board, or just simply in your reply, you can make some comments for your the classmate that you're reviewing the infographic. So this time you don't have to make comments on the infographic. That would be difficult in some cases. And then a question that came up while I mentioned that is about rough drafts. I don't read rough drafts. I don't look at rough drafts. I just try to note who hasn't been reviewed, or if there's a problem like that, because peer review should be peer review. Okay, so I really don't look at those. So if you've only got one block done by Thursday, just say that I've only got a little bit done, because this is between you and your small group partners, all right, to help each other. And then the final infographics, that date hasn't changed, Sunday, March 21st. There's also a reflection form due, but you'll notice I put a plus beside those. What I mean by that is I didn't want you to have to worry about any coursework over spring break, which is that following week. But I've heard from several of you that I know you have a lot of exams. I know this is the time of the semester where you're really getting pounded with papers that are due. You've got a pretty heavy load. So if you can get your final infographics done sometime that following week, sometime during spring break, that's fine with me. Okay, just so you finished and submitted it before we come back on Monday, March 29th is the first day of class after spring break. So that's what that plus means. It's perfectly fine for you to submit them on Sunday, but if you don't, you're not going to be counted off any for being late. All right. So let's go back up here and look quickly at the infographic assignment. Okay, 3 to 5 pieces of information. Those are your sources from your essay. So you've already done that work. So unless your source page changes, and we'll talk about that in a minute, you don't have to resubmit a source page. All right. Then I've changed the dates for you on this to reflect what's in the course schedule. I sent you a list of resources here, and they're really, really good ones. And in fact, this first one we're going to look at together because it's worth it. It's 2 minutes, and it does such a good job of explaining what an infographic is and how it should work that we'll watch that real quickly. 2 minutes.
Infographics. What's that? You're not alone if this question has occurred to you as well. They are a digital, artistic representation of data and information that combine to tell a story. They help us visualize relationships and statistics simply and easily. Therefore, they are an intersection of disciplines, making a topic fun and quick to learn without a ton of text. The focus of good infographics is always on communicating insights. By being visual, infographics present relevant ideas in a much more efficient and easier to understand form. Therefore, an infographic should be understood in 8 to 15 seconds. The reason for the 8 to 15 seconds is because during a 12-year period, the average human's attention span has decreased to be less than that of a goldfish. Why are they so effective? They are ancient. Early humans, for example, made maps and other visual representations of their lives which can be seen today. Infographics are effective because they are visual. We receive input from all 5 of our senses, but sight is number 1. 65% of the population is comprised of visual learners, so the visual nature of infographics caters to a large portion of our audience. In fact, one comprehension study found a 70% rate of understanding for medicine labels with text only, and a 95% rate of understanding for labels with text and pictures. And remember, your infographic should show, not tell your audience. Don't make it a reading assignment because they are intended to present complex knowledge, information, or data quickly and clearly. At their root, good infographics tell stories, allowing us to tell a more complete story of the data.
Okay. All right. So let's get out of this. It's going to start up. Okay, and go back to the infographic assignment. So that's exactly what this is. Okay, you want to present your argument with as little text as possible. So it's not exactly a writing assignment or a reading assignment, as she said. There's 7 types of infographics, and depending on your topic, You can look at those and you can choose one of those, but you certainly don't have to. Those are just examples. You can totally create your own. And there's another a video here about how to create an effective video infographic that's good. The one I want to look at right now is just it's also a video, but we'll take a look at the stills, the still blocks. How do you convey that information quickly? Well, you condense the text, we said that, and you get visuals that support the text. But composition is important, design practice. So this is going to be a crash course in good design practices. And why is this assignment important? Well, it's important because you will use these skills in so many things you do for the rest of your life. Even if it's creating a poster for your child's Halloween carnival, you will know some good design principles after you do this assignment. So it's all accomplished through composition and layout, and that's what this video is about. It's just a very quick 5-minute tutorial on good design practice. The 5 basic principles are proximity, and all that means is things that should be together. Things that go together should be close to each other. So if you have a pie chart, for example, or a graph, the color key or the explanation should not be on the other side of the page. It should be close together. You want your viewer to work as little as possible to understand the information quickly, okay? White space is rest. It's rest. It's to prevent your viewer from having cognitive overload. It also helps with proximity because it helps separate groups of things that belong together. So there should be white space. You don't have to fill up every inch of the block. In fact, that's when it gets too busy, the information and the message and the strength of the argument is weakened, okay? Alignment is just what they are showing here. Things need to line up because that's just the way our eyes look at things. Contrast. This is contrast in background and text is extremely important. Every computer screen is different, phone screens, whatever. So it's better to be safe than sorry. Make sure there's a lot of contrast between your font, the print, the color of the text, and the background. You also don't want a busy background because that is going to slow down the comprehension, okay? So, for example, white text on a yellow background is probably not a good idea, okay? Or dark gray text on a black background, not a good idea. You want as much contrast as possible to make it easy on the viewer. Repetition is our best way to remember things, right? So in your concluding block, the last block, hammer home those main points again, repeat them. You don't have to repeat the visuals, just repeat the main points again, because that's what you're leaving your viewer with. That's the last thing that they'll see. So it's important. Okay, so you can watch this video and it will go into a greater detail, but that's sort of those 5 basic principles in a quick nutshell. Okay, going back, the other thing I just want to show you today is color suggestions. This is just a little PDF on the meaning of colors, and it talks about what we typically think of when we see these colors. For example, and you want to be sure that they're appropriate, the colors you choose, everything is appropriate for your topic. So, for example, you wouldn't want to, if your topic is the death penalty, you wouldn't expect to see pink and yellow and happy colors, would you? You know, it's going to be those somber grays and darker colors probably. Fonts that you choose are the same way. You wouldn't want a happy-go-lucky font, and I think there are examples on one of our resources under the resources of what those look like. But you wouldn't want a happy font. You want a more serious font too, for the death penalty, for example. If your topic is about nature or organic gardening, then you would put growing colors. Yes, I would expect to see greens and yellows and things like that. Or if you're doing something like global world hunger, even, I still would expect to see things that make people think of the global awareness part, blues and greens and maybe yellows and things. Red. The only thing I want to tell you about red is just use it judiciously, because red can convey alarm, danger. And so if that's not your intent, just be very careful about that. It can also convey, for some people, anger. So if you have a very angry message, then red might be appropriate. Okay, so just make sure it's appropriate, okay, for your topic. And then these other things, I just always include the MLA guides. Can't put those too many places, because I want you to, even after you leave this course, I want you to be able to find those easily. Okay, so if I put them on every assignment sheet, there's a better chance. So that's just there for repetition. Okay, and Wednesday, I'll post another video and we'll talk about images, citing, giving credit. Always have to give credit where credit's due. It's a little different for this assignment because it's sort of like fair use, but going forward, I want you to be sure and know that you have to cite those sources for your images that you find that are online. Okay, if you use a common domain that, like Bing pictures or the pictures that come with Word or those kinds of things, that's fine. Whether they're photographs or little graphic art designs, whatever, that's fine. But if it comes off of a website, you need to cite that website. But we've got a little bit of a different thing going for this assignment, so we'll talk about that on Wednesday. I just wanted to introduce this to you and show you then one other thing. That's the assignment. This assignment is not about technology, okay? It is, it's about creating this visual argument, and it really is important, because I mentioned the Halloween flyer, but you're going to be called on to give presentations at work, and you want your viewers to understand your information quickly, and then you can hand them the detailed report where they can read in greater detail. But it's good to know how to make a visual argument. So it's not about the technology. It's more about designing this effective visual argument. So you can choose whatever you would like. If you're comfortable and you know how to get around in PowerPoint or Google Slides, that's absolutely fine. The requirement for this, the link, is 3 to 5 blocks if you choose PowerPoint or Google Slides. Same for these other applications, except some people like to do one long block. That's fine. As long as you have your main points on there and you make a compelling argument, that is just fine. PowerPoint and Google Slides make it a little bit more difficult to do that, because their blocks are a fixed size and you can't expand them or make them smaller. And I'll show you what I mean. You may have experience using Canva or Visme, and if you do, you may use those. I have Pictochart on here because this is typically the one most people use. It's very user-friendly, and you can create exactly what you want and change the blocks and add as many blocks as you want. So it's really great. So let me move my little picture down here. So when you click on that link, it will bring up the Pictochart page. It's going to ask you to sign up or log in. I'm going to log in since I have an account. But it's just your email address and a password. This is a free application, okay? And it brings up this screen. So let's create a new. What would you like to create? Well, let's choose Infographic. But you can see that Pictochart will help you, just for future reference, create a lot of different kinds of presentations. So they provide a lot of templates that you can choose. If you think one of these really looks great for your information that you're presenting, you may choose one of those. If you want to start with a blank canvas, you may do that also. But let's go down and just take a look at how it works if you do choose to use a template. Okay, I'm looking at this one. I think that's pretty good for my topic. Okay, so let's use this. Click Use Topic. And now I'm ready to begin my work when it brings it up. Okay, so you have all these tools. You have tools here. And when you click on this, it brings up a toolbar up here that you can use. Very similar to some of the things we've seen. You can add links, hyperlinks even, change text, change font, do all that kind of things. So there's tools there. There are tools here. These are more for navigation. Okay. And then to insert, we'll go over here to do things. But so first thing I want to do is let's change this text to, how about ways to take care of your new dog? Yeah. For example. Okay. And then you can get rid of the rest of the text in that block by clicking on it, double clicking. I have a shortened screen here. Let's see. Okay, now I can do things like highlight that text. Let's say I want to center it. So you see, it's pretty user friendly. Okay. All right. Now this text block, I don't really want that. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to hit backspace, and now I've got that going. Okay, so I'm going to say something like, have fun with your new dog. Okay, this is such a weak example, but I just want to show you how easy this is. Have fun with your new puppy. So that's my first piece of advice. Let's get rid of that. And instead of this, let's see, let's put in photo, let's see. I want to get rid of this, I think is what I need to do. And somewhere along here, I can choose from my my own visuals that I have. Uploads. I'm sorry, that took a while. Okay, so let's browse images. I'm just trying to show you how to do this. Okay, so let's find, here's a fun one. This is my little dog when she was younger. Okay, let's choose her. Okay, so there she is. So now she's part of my infographic that I'm creating, right? So you can make that smaller. And I think I put her in there twice. Let's take that one out. Okay, now it's kind of getting crowded, right? My first block. So let's stretch that down. You can make the blocks as big as you want. And then when you're finished with this block, and it looks like you want it to, she looks kind of fat there. So that's how you do it. So you can see, now we don't need that block right there. You can change a template up that way, and it's very easy. Then you go to the next block, and you add as many as you want. And this line is movable. You can move it up, you can move it down. So you can create those blocks however you want them to be. Then you need to save the visual so you can come back and work on it. Okay. Wednesday, when I make another video, I will show you when we talk about citing your images. I'll also walk you through about sharing this if you use Pictochart, making sure that I can see it. Okay. So I'll click on that. It was successfully saved. And I'm going to stop the share and say that's it for today. And I will see you all Wednesday. If you have any questions, please email me and let me know. My office hours are Tuesdays from 1 to 3, and I'm available then too. Okay, so good luck getting started, but review those resources on your infographics. This should be fun. It should be fun, and you get to kind of stretch your creative wings. All right, have a great day.